Welcome to the Builders of Authority podcast, a show committed to helping you build authority for your brand. In the realm of business and personal branding, authority stands as a cornerstone. Authority isn't built overnight, it's built over time. So join us as we build something remarkable together. And now, here's your host, Adam McChesney.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Builders of Authority podcast, a show dedicated to helping entrepreneurs, contractors, and business owners build their authority and grow their brand. We're live here at Adventure Unknown in Fenton, Missouri, just outside of St. Louis. If you're in the area, been wanting to check out Adventure Unknown, send me a message. I can show you exactly where my office is at, where we're doing the podcast now in production in partnership with True Line Media Group. So send me a message. Would love the opportunity to give you a tour and show you around. I'm your host, Adam McChesney, and today I have a really special guest with me. Travis Collins, known online as Tools by Design, is one of the most recognizable names in the trades and home improvement content space. He grew up working alongside his father, a master carpenter, and has been in the trade for over 19 years. As a finished carpenter, then managing high-end custom automotive shops and everything in between. Today he runs Tools by Designs, where he shares tool news, reviews, tips, and real-life remodeling content with nearly 2 million followers just on Instagram and has a very loyal YouTube audience. Travis, thanks for coming in, man. Welcome to the show.
Pleasure. Yeah, it's pretty awesome to be here and just to share a little bit about me and the journey, right?
Yeah, so such a small world, as we were talking about before, and you're here in St. Louis, and we were able to make this happen.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. Why don't you tell people a little bit about yourself? I know I gave a brief introduction, but let's dive deeper.
Yeah, well, Travis Collins, Tools by Design, and I really just started the channel sharing info because I was getting information from social media and learning. I learned what a track saw was, never grew up knowing what that was, and it's like all this stuff learning, so I start implementing it myself and sharing it, and then other people are finding it and learning, and it just grew over the years to where we are now, and just kind of built up that trust. And I mean, I grew up in the trades with my dad, so it's just all along the way, all these little pieces came together from my life experiences to create the Tools by Design name now. And it's kind of wild to go places and people recognize you or talk to you and say, I follow you, or hey, I love your take on this or this and that. And it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, you're a celebrity.
I don't like to think I'm just a regular guy. I got a house payment like everyone. I guess it's really fulfilling to help people as much as you can to make the really good decisions with their money or for what task they're trying to do. I learn constantly new things. I don't forget stuff for the most part, and so it's like regurgitate, but not everyone has time to do the research like I do.
Yeah. So when did it really start from the content side and Tools by Design as a whole?
Yeah, that was, I started working on a 1941 house that had a ton of termite damage and issues, and it was my ex-girlfriend's house, and I was living there, and she wanted work done, and of course, most people don't have a ton of money to throw at things, and so I started fixing, and as I started sharing things, I'm like, this is too much on my personal account. I'm going to create my own account, and the first account was, I wanted to get fancy with it and be different, so it was bricoleur design. It was French for somebody who can turn something into anything with their hands.
Wow.
So, and that didn't go over too well. No one knew how to pronounce it or what the word was. So I changed it to Tools by Design way back when, and it stuck. So it's just that kind of thing. Just started posting, and then you hit that 1,000 follower mark, and you're like, wow, this is amazing. People are starting to like just follow the journey, and that's what everyone's posting for, is like to share. Yeah. And then it got to like 5,000 and 10,000 when companies started reaching out way back then. And then here we are almost 10 years later of posting. I've got 11,000 posts on Instagram in all that time. Yeah. And it's been really an awesome roller coaster ride, and working with all the companies, working with small companies that have really great inventions to help make them better, share ideas. So it's something I never expected, but you just kind of keep rolling with it. And then, as we all know with life, time flies, and you look back and holy cow.
Yeah. So what was the mindset like where you were like, hey, I'm just kind of doing this to like educate people and share and support and try to build up these products and things like that, or just share your journey to, oh my gosh, now this is a whole thing in a business. What was that transition like?
Yeah, that's a great question. And like immediately thinking about it, back when it was mostly photos on Instagram, there was lots of guys that were in the trade full time, because I fluctuated a little bit when I got started posting is when I moved back to Jacksonville. I just exited 10 years in the automotive performance sector, managing a shop and doing all kinds of wild projects there. And so I started doing carpentry because that's what I grew up doing pretty much full time for a little bit. And then I had a college degree, so I ended up getting an office job in finance with no experience. So that was the time I was like posting some stuff, but then I was also in an office working full time. So there's guys sharing things from job sites daily.
Yep.
And I had kind of exited that scene a little bit, but it's not like you lose the knowledge. So I started sharing things different than everyone else. I took apart tools. I instead of sharing larger jobs, I shared very set parameters of a job or topic of how to do this more efficient, this part of a remodel. And that's kind of what set me a little different than the rest. So I dove deep into the details, into the finance, the finagle part of things, like this tool has a different trigger than this one, and this would be better for this, and just the real specifics. And I think that's what set me apart and helped build up the trust. And I mean, I went through a real big hazing period where a lot of professionals didn't take me seriously for a while because I wasn't on a job site every single day. But after they learned, like, hey, this guy is not leading anyone astray, he knows what he's talking about, and it was just a slow boil of buildup of like, people are always hard. Like, are they trying to sell you something? Are they being genuine, or this and that? And so that's part of the consistency of always being yourself, always just learning more, pushing forward, sharing.
Yeah.
And it just slowly built up. And then at some point 4 years ago, I said, you know what? I'm going to do this full time. And so I can really dive in. And that's what I've been doing, is just working full time with companies to create content, but also just sharing my projects.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I want to go back to the part where you were kind of talking about, you know, the hazing aspect of it, because that's the one thing that I think a lot of people struggle with, is they never start creating, or they create and they're like, I'm not getting any sort of engagement, so they stop. Or they do start to get some backlash. And that could be like people not taking them seriously, or just people like being internet trolls, where it's like that. Or, you know, I know for me early on, it was like friends and family saying, Adam, like, who do you think you are? Are you Tony Robbins going out and talking about all this stuff? I'm like, no, but like if one day I could be like 1% of Tony Robbins, like I'm good with it, right? So what was that like, where you're like, hey, I gotta like do this, be authentic and do all that stuff, knowing that, especially at 1.9 million just on Instagram, that you're gonna get some of that stuff along the way?
I mean, there's no guarantee for any of it.
Yeah.
But if you're a creator of any type, whether you do social media or not, you're in a business, you're opening a coffee shop, you've got to believe in yourself 100%.
Yeah.
Or it's likely not going to be successful. You've got to believe that what you're offering or what you're delivering or who you're showing, like as yourself, that you are worthy type of thing. And I think that's a big part of it, is just believing in yourself and pushing, because there's always going to be highs and lows. There was a lot of times where I'm like, why am I still posting this? Well, I've got like 2 years dedicated into it. Like, why stop now? Let's just keep going, because sometimes it drops off and you're like, what is going on? And there's no rhyme or reason, and it's just part of it. So that's part of why I call it the roller coaster ride. You're going up and you see it and you're like, wow, this is awesome. And then nosedive and then back up. And everything seems to be cyclical in that space of content, because you don't have control over who sees what, how, and anymore with AI, it's harder to get views with AI running all the algorithms and things, and it's harder to grow for new businesses. But I get this question a lot from people, and it's the only way I feel, to really grow or to gain or to just get some exposure is to, one, just be authentically yourself, and then be consistent. Share all the little details as to what you're doing, whether you're a carpenter, or you own a coffee shop, or you're just a painter. Like, there's people blowing up everywhere just because they're being themselves, and they're showing the finite and the little details of they take or the steps or they care. And it's the human aspect I think we're all looking for anymore.
Yeah. Well, and I made a post in our Facebook group. So we have a Facebook group where I just share content on digital marketing and personal branding and everything in between. And somebody the other day, I made a post. I said, hey, like there are people that are literally asking for non-AI stuff.
Oh yeah.
Right. And that is a consistent theme. And there was all these people saying, no, like you're just saying that because you're a marketer. And I'm like, no, here's 3 studies where they're literally like interviewing people from a psychological standpoint that they're just like burnt out.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like human is the new AI or the new trend because everything else is so easy to get done with the push of a button, but it loses all of the authenticity. It loses that human element that people are really craving for, I think, on the internet today.
Yeah, the slight imperfections that are what makes us human, and that's also what makes things real. Is you misspeak a little bit, or something happens, and you're like, "Well, I didn't predict that," and like, let's roll with it. So it is what it is, type of thing. Just got to keep going. And yeah, no, I agree with you.
So taking a look at like when you're creating content, I know a lot of people struggle on, hey, do I chase the algorithm, right? Or I chase the trend stuff. And I know you've talked a lot about authenticity and just showing your craft and doing all that stuff. How much do you look at how the algorithms are changing and what trends you need to keep up with versus like, hey, I'm just going to go do the best that I can creating the content?
Yeah, that's, I think there's a lot of people that chase the algorithm. I'm not one of those. And whether it be to a detriment or not, I don't know if there's any way to tell. I know it's constantly changing. And even being in it full time, I can't keep up with things. I follow a couple of the creators that share the updates to Instagram or the changes, and whether they're still active when I find them or what's going on. It helps you a little bit, but when it comes to creating, I just try to create the best I think I can for what the task is. Try to get that unique angle or what I see for this, and so I set things up, and it oftentimes puts me in a precarious situation because otherwise, to do it comfortably or that, I'll be in front of the camera because you can't capture. So I got to do things like around the camera, or I got to do things in an awkward way just to get the shot to show what I want to, I guess, convey out there in the video for the product or the demonstration. So for me, it's just create what I feel is going to be a good piece, and if it is, it is. So if it isn't, then try again, right?
Yeah. Well, it's really cool to hear you say that because I've interviewed probably 5 or 6 people this year that all, I would say, like 500,000 on Instagram and above, and every one of them have the exact same answer. Now, a lot of them at one point said, hey, when I was early on, I was trying to chase the algorithm and I was trying to figure it out, and then I just had this video or 2 like blow up, and it was a video that 2 of them said they almost didn't even post because they were like overthinking it, and they're like, is this, and like usually that's some of the best content because it's not manufactured. It's just like the real authentic, like, hey, this is going to help people. And when it helps people, that's when stuff usually gains the most attention.
The rawness of it. And it goes back to any more rawness is what people are craving a little bit. Ever since COVID, it's been less interaction. We were all kind of pulled back, and then now everyone's going out now again and doing stuff, but it's cool to see kind of the older things we grew up with coming back in to go out and do and slow down. More people are putting their phones down, which I think is awesome.
Yes.
I'm on my phone more than probably anyone. It's my full-time job, really. And it's just, I don't know, it's just always be yourself, but I mean, don't lead people astray or try to, I guess, anymore, don't sell out to the cheap brands or the knockoff products to try to stay ahead, because I feel like ultimately that'll hurt you in the long run.
Absolutely. So people will probably listen and saying, oh my gosh, like there's all these followers, there's all these views and all this stuff. Like, if you're someone like that, how do you turn it into a business? So how did the true business form because of all the awesome stuff that you were creating on social media?
I guess it was an evolution, because at some point there was a shift where brands started seeing so many people following along with the videos online that they started well, hey, maybe if we pay some people or we put some money behind this, we can use it as marketing because it costs 50, 80% less than hiring someone, a studio, all of these things. And we're getting raw content to share. And yeah, it's just like, oh, okay, you're going to pay me to do this and that. And there's no stipulations. I can just be me and do it. Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's evolved because you, of course, get burned, or you realize in this industry, oh, $500 for this, but you were paying someone $30,000 before, and now you're getting this. I should ask for a little more because there's value.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to learn where it is, but the biggest thing I think that I've done to, I guess, keep my inner self happy and in content is to always say that they can't control what I say, how I say it, what I do.
Yep.
Just recently in the last year, brands have really wanted to review videos to see if they want changes or that. But most of the stuff I do is one take.
Yeah.
I can't go back and rebuild that wall, or I can't go back and recut that. It's just not going to be authentic then. It's not part of it. So brands know what they're getting with me because I've been that way all along. So it's always going to be my thoughts or opinions. I'll share the product, but I'm not here to bash products either.
Yeah.
So if I'm curating what brands I work with because I believe in the product or I know it's a good tool, and then it's just showing what it can do, and it's up to the people watching if that's the tool they could use for what they're doing, or if maybe that one doesn't cut quite fast enough and the other one's better for that. So that's why people anymore end up with a lot of different brands. So you have 2 or 3 different battery systems because some brands are really good at this, some are really good at that. And yeah, it's just, again, it just comes back to just pushing back on the brands and not letting them bully you around to be yourself and to show things in your authentic way. Because everyone's got their own way, and that's why people follow Kruger Construction, Canadian Carpenter, all these other guys, because they're maybe seeing the same product, but they're all shown in a different light. So then you see 3 or 4 different videos or shares of maybe a method or a product, and that helps you narrow down how it's going to affect your work or what it can do for you.
That's awesome. And I want to go back to probably when you first got paid for something.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how cool of a moment that was when you were like, oh my gosh, is this real?
Yeah. I invested, I don't even know because I didn't keep track of it. I didn't want to know how much money buying tools in the beginning to share different things. Yeah. But also I was using them on remodeling this 1941 home because I didn't have a lot of tools then. I had gotten rid of most of them when I was in the automotive space. I didn't need all these carpentry tools. I wasn't using them as much. So I got rid of a lot and just had basics. And now I need more. I'm like, you see video online and I'm influenced. I'm like, holy cow, a track saw? I could use that. That's really efficient. So I went on Amazon and bought an open box Makita one off there because I couldn't afford the full price.
Yep.
Then I'm showing that. And then it's like, okay, but then this other one comes out and I'm like, well, if I'm really curious how much better it is, but also I can share and let people know if it's worth it. So then I buy it, and I bought so many different tools at my own expense before I even started getting any sent to me. Yep. And it was a big investment up front. And so then when a brand's like, we've got this new drill and impact coming out, it's a new version and they haven't released one in a couple years, we want to send it to you and say pay you $1,000 to create a video to share, and you're like, oh my goodness, I'm going to make some money doing this now? This is cool. Wow. But then it puts tons of pressure on you, of course, because you're like, well, I really need to deliver now because I'm getting paid to do this, but I need to be myself. And I feel that pressure with every contract I get to share something. It's like, okay, I owe it to everyone to share the best I can, but to be genuine at the same time, but I need to do this. It's always just something. It's just something with me. Maybe it's with everyone. I don't know.
No, I can resonate a lot with that. And so there's 2 points that I want to pull out of what you just said that I think the audience needs to rehear again, because I know when I look at somebody that has grown all this stuff, you're like, I want to dissect how they got there, right? And so the first thing you mentioned was I was buying my own tools out of my own pocket to basically create content with, because I wanted to get the project done, right? The best way possible. But I also wanted to start creating content. So many people start creating content or do digital marketing or grow their own business, but they're not willing to like put in the work or invest their own money and time. They just, hey, I'm creating content. I want all this stuff to come in. It's like, no, you were willing to roll up your sleeves, do what you needed to do. And then you did it so many different times. And then that's when the opportunities started to come in. And I think a lot of people are like, no, I'm doing this right now. Where's the opportunity? They're playing the short game versus the long game. And then the second thing I took away from that is like, hey, you know, whether it was back then when you got paid $1,000 to the videos you're making now or the contracts that you're signing now, we still do feel that unique pressure where it's like, I got to deliver, I got to do all that stuff. And I think a lot of people think it just gets, that feeling goes away over time. It doesn't. We get better at tolerating the situation or managing the situation. But like every time somebody asks me to go speak, or if I'm on somebody's podcast as well, it's like, that those butterflies, those things still end up happening because we don't change that much and we're human, right? But we get better at, okay, hey, I used to interview people, we're 275 episodes in, I used to sweat all the time, even interviewing somebody, but I've just gotten more experience and more better. So I thought those two aspects were really, really cool because I think a lot of people just struggle to actually understand, well, what do I have to do? Who do I have to become to reach where I'm trying to go? People want to go there without climbing the roller coaster.
Yeah, and what you just said, like, who do I have to become? I'm like, you don't have to become anyone. Just be yourself.
Yes.
Like, like here, like, I got no problem talking to anyone front because I'm just always myself. The same people that meet me in person at trade shows, I'm the same exact person with the same humor, just demeanor I am in my videos. It's real easy when you're just yourself all the time. And, and to also mention one other thing I've noticed lately is in posts, most of my content is not sponsored or that. It's just me sharing. I make no money off of it type of thing. It's just, I'm working on this, or I feel like this is a great share, or I really had fun doing this. And part of what I think I've put on my shoulders as I'm thinking about it in the run is showing different ways of doing things. And so I'm constantly learning new tools, or I've got to grab something that, I saw someone post that. I didn't even know that bit existed for this job, or I didn't know that method was even a thing. So now I'm going to go and try it out and see if it really is better or faster or something different. And I'll make a video about it, but I may not be the best at it because I'm new to it, but I try to learn it and share it so people can see a different way of doing things, which really fires off a lot of people because it's different than the way they grew up doing it. And it's just always kind of, I guess, learning and sharing how you do it next or implement it and getting it out there to people.
Yeah. Well, I think everybody does everything a little bit different, but a lot of the same ways. But that's the great thing about creating the content is the more ways you can show how to skin a cat, get this done, et cetera, the more exposure you're going to get, but the more people you're going to impact too, because somebody's going to resonate with one piece of content maybe versus another as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I post a lot. It just is what it is. I know not everyone's going to see everything, but there's going to be I think with any creator, really, you're going to like quite a few things they post, and quite a few things just won't be for you or want that, but maybe they're still enjoyable. And so that's where I'm like, I know that's the case with everyone. I'm not expecting everyone to watch every video. Our time is limited. I get to scroll in and I see stuff I've never seen before, and I'm learning things that are just unique. I'm like, this is awesome. That person, holy cow, are they talented? I've never even thought to do that kind of thing. And it's really cool to see people in their creativity anymore. But also, it's part of what I do is try to add in a little humor or have some fun with it, because everyone takes things so seriously all the time. So I've tried to spice it up a little bit, I guess, and just be me, where my head and its ideas, and just get creative, but also show things to help you learn.
Was there like one video that just like blew up that started to gain all these followers, or was it a series of things? Or
that's a great question. I don't think of one video that caused me to blow up, but one video that's consistently gotten like reposted is just, I had a lean-to, very poorly built shed on the back of my garage, just open, just slanted roof. And at the time I needed to move it, but I didn't have the equipment. I don't have the funds to rent it. And so I used my dad's teachings of like ingenuity, leverage, and that. And I just I didn't want to take it down because I was like, I could still use the covered storage. I just need to move it like a football field down my property line. And so I hooked up my tractor and a trailer and used a bar to lift it up and set half of it on the back of the trailer, and then lifted the front with the tractor and slowly moved it off the ground, and just, kind of, I don't know, farm kid style, got ingenuity with it, and people loved it. And I've reposted it a couple of times over the last 5 years, and it always does well because it's thinking outside the box type of thing. You're like solving a problem in an old school kind of way. And it was that's I guess something that's also helped with people is I'm real. I'm not always using the best tool. I'm not always doing this. It's the ability to solve problems in the instance. But that's also what makes a really good finish carpenter. A carpenter is you've got to be able to fix your mistakes, but also solve problems in the instance, because you never know what you're going to find when you open up a wall.
Yeah. So how often every single day are you posting?
Anymore, it's once a day.
Okay.
And I mean, back in the day, it was 2 to 4 times a day for years, and it was kind of my job, really. I mean, even though I wasn't getting paid, I had so much to share. But also then it's like you're showing a new bit, or you've taken a drill apart, so you've got showing how the solders were done, or what brand trigger they used, or how the potting was done. And I used to show a lot of those fine details, because there was a big difference between let's say the German tools and the mid-tier tools and the low. Now anymore, with everything being brushless, and the fact like more tools are made in the same factories than not anymore, they're very similar. Even lower grade tools like the Ryobi Stimula, Ryobi's pretty decent anymore for what you're going to get. The gap isn't as big as it used to be between the lower dollar tools and the higher dollar, but there's still value there depending upon what level you're at or what you're tackling. It's just keep sharing, right? Like all these different things. It's always been whatever I've found interesting. Or if someone said something over here and I'm like, I don't know if that's true. Well, now I feel like I want to find out and share it. And I've put the pressure on myself to be the guy that's going to educate everyone, or do the extra work or the time consuming things so they don't have to.
And then how many different platforms are you posting on?
I mean, Instagram cross-post to Facebook now pretty fluidly, so that's really nice, because it wasn't always the case. And TikTok is here and there, and I'm trying to get better at posting to YouTube Shorts daily. Mainly it's Instagram, and Facebook is just where I started, but it's where I've invested the most and where I just kind of continue to. But it's with Meta having their hands in all of them, it's trying to also this year diverse more into long form YouTube instead of the short form. Because I did some long form back in the day, and they've grown pretty good over the years. And people seem to like my take or my demeanor, just whatever. And so I've created a lot of long form videos that I'm working on getting editing, because I don't have time to edit all the short form and the long form. And I think it's with anything, as we get older, we're like, man, time is the biggest thing we're fighting, of what to tackle, what to do, and then we're running out.
100%. My next question was going to be, how do you manage all of it? Like, how do you do it?
I don't stop moving. I'm very high ADHD. That's pretty regulated now, but not perfect. And I've just always been very much high energy, never run out, just go, go, go. My mind just constantly working, solving problems. I remember a lot of things, especially when it comes to tools, part numbers, things of that nature. And so every day I'm working, because it's working, but it isn't, because I somehow, or to a detriment maybe, I don't know, my life is tools by design. So I've shared stories every day for the last 10 years of what I'm doing, or things I'm experiencing, or things that excite me. And I'm like, well, people are following me because they like what I'm sharing, and I've always shared whatever I find interesting or exciting. So it's just kind of snowballed into most of my life is tools by design and what I'm doing. So I've got different projects every day. I'm tackling this, or being a homeowner has taught me a lot, and that you're always going to have something to do,
Yes.
especially if it's an older home.
Yes.
And it's hard to divvy up the time of, I just need to tackle this, but holy cow, do I need to really do this? And so it's kind of, it's a blessing and a curse to be able to fix everything yourself, but also when you're creating content around how do you fix that, or how do you notice this and determine what's next, is you got to slow down. It takes time to film, switch angles. So it's just people don't realize how much filming content and doing that slows down a project.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's a lot. So let's dive into the business aspect of it a little bit. Like, what are all the different things that, as the business, are opportunities for companies or brands, right? Whether that's specific consistent partnerships, one-time posts, a referral, like I know there's so many different ways to do it. So what are the kind of the main things inside of your business?
Yeah, it's tough, because in the contractor, blue collar world, homeowners, a little bit of everything, there are so many brands and so many tools for specific tasks. And so you get reached out to. The bigger you get, the more brands are reaching out.
Gosh.
And there's endless brands that are from overseas that are just pinging, trying to get this new product pushed or that. And it takes a lot of time to go through emails and weed it out. But also, you've got your brands that you believe in and trust that you also want to work with and share. So it's tough, because you've got tons of time in emails, and it's too much for one person, and my better half, Liv, helps with that. And we've recently brought on another person part-time to help with the emails and the back and forth. And so it's just kind of figuring out what brands you really want to work with or showcase, whether you're reaching out to them or they're reaching out to you. And it's just setting up, how are you looking to show this product? What exactly are you looking for? Because this is how I can deliver, or what I can do. And you've got to say no to a lot, is what I found, because money isn't everything, but peace of mind is. And if you can't showcase it authentically, at least for me, then I've got to say no, or I'm like, this isn't a good fit type of thing.
Yeah. No, I can only imagine how many emails you probably get on all of that stuff.
So. And then, of course, with all the selling of our data from this, you get all these extra marketing emails, and you're like, why is this brand messaging me 4 times a day about stuff? And it's like, okay, unsubscribe.
Yeah. What's been kind of your biggest aha moment of being a creator, essentially full-time, doing all this stuff, that you're like, man, if I would have just known this back when I said I was going to do this full-time, that would have maybe helped me navigate this a little bit easier?
That's a great question. Aha moment. Probably just, you read it, but it's hard to, I guess, fully implement, is to stop worrying about making the perfect piece of content, or what you find to be perfection, or getting to just get the angle close enough. You don't have to constantly, this wasn't perfectly in focus, or I need to do this. It's realizing that kind of everything is content, and the mistake, or you drop the tool here, like, you can either cut it out or just leave it, and it's just like a funny, because it happens to everyone. And sharing the instances where things didn't go as planned, it's just part of it, and just leaning into that, because it happens to everyone. I think that's the biggest aha, and helps you kind of relax a little more and just create and share.
Yeah, I love your take on the one takes too. Like, I'm 90% like one take, unless I like have a brain fart and forget everything and I stop or whatever. But if I like say the wrong thing, mess up or whatever, I just, hey, we're going through with it, and we're just gonna make it work, right? Because I think, as somebody that is a chronic overthinker like myself, the more I look at a video, I'm going to be able to pick out 100 different things. I'm like, I don't even want to watch the video again. I'm getting it over to my team. They can edit it. They can do all that stuff. And if it's absolutely, you tell me we have to go recreate it, like, I will do it. But like, I like just getting it out there and then going from there. It allows you to create more, not spend so much time overthinking it, and then just getting throughout the process.
I found it's hard for me to create a piece of content, share it with a brand, and they're like, when they say, we don't like this at all, or this and that, it's hard for me to go back and do it again, because then to me, I'm not being as authentic, because I was authentic the first one.
Yeah.
So now I've got to change a little bit, and I feel like that may show through. Maybe it's just me that sees it when I'm trying to change certain things, or even when I mean, it affects everyone, your mood or something that's happened in life, or your mind is this, or your patience bucket is lower than it should be, type of thing. And then you're trying to create something upbeat or something this, and you're like, okay, let's go. And we got to do this. And I mean, as with any job, you've got to pull yourself together and do what you got to do. But it's to me, it's just very important to be myself and be authentic.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. So speaking on that topic, I had one brand partnership that I had, and they were paying me $5,000 a month to create content. And I, did it one way for 90 days, and they're like, hey, we like this, but we don't like all this stuff. We need you to say all these different things and then go do that. I did it for another 6 months. I created a separate YouTube channel for it to try to create its own momentum, do all that stuff. And like, it was working, but it was so exhausting, and it wasn't worth the money anymore, because I was like, hey, I'm having to redo all these things. I'm creating 6 additional new pieces of content every single week for this. And it's just not worth it, right? And so to your point, whether it's the authenticity or the back and forth or the overthinking of like, how do I need this to say so they approve of it? It's just not worth it, because then you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm literally creating another job for myself inside of my own company where I'm an entrepreneur, and I don't enjoy it. And I'm doing it for a little bit of money.
But that's awesome. You were able to figure that out. A lot of people do it for so long until and I think everyone's got to go through that. You can tell people that, you can teach it, but it isn't until you're actually experiencing it to where you like, wait a minute here, this is taking a lot of my energy, whether it be mental or physical. Is it worth the income? Because you can get income other places, but it's hard to give up when you've got income. And it's as a content creator, I don't think you're really ever like getting rich per se, but it's like every little bit income adds up. And I think it's the same when I was, for most self-employed people, there's no guaranteed monthly. You're not going to have the same person hiring you back next year you can bank on. So some jobs are going to be $1,000, $500, a $20,000 job, $400 here, but you're all over the place, and you just have to, again, believe in yourself that things will keep coming around because of how you finish the job, how you curate, and just who you are.
Let's talk about the belief aspect really quick, because I think a lot of entrepreneurs, doesn't matter what business or industry at the end, they struggle, probably not at the beginning, right? And I have the Believe Ted Lasso sign up above the door over there. But I'm such a big believer, as you were talking about earlier, like you have to believe in yourself way more than anybody else, because if you don't believe in it, it's not going to work. I think a lot of people don't struggle in the beginning, like, hey, I believe I'm going to do this. It's probably why they took the leap of faith or whatever. But then along the way, there's so many different ups and downs where you're like, do I still believe in myself? And then you start to get doubted from other people, and you're like, I don't even know if other people are believing me. How have you consistently just been there with your belief, right? Where you're like, hey, no, I know this is the right path, even though it may not feel like it. And I'm going to continue to show up, create content, do the things that I can control because I believe in myself.
I mean, we all run into those doubting moments, or life really has kicked you hard type of thing. Is it really worth keep going? Right? Like, oh man. But in those instances, what I have done and what I continue to do with struggle is I don't let my feelings determine right there. I reflect back, like, I've thought about this. I've chosen this path. Like, we've put in the time and effort. It's amazing where you've gotten to this point, and you've got to really appreciate and not beat yourself up. So, and I think a lot of that is just having a lot of internal self-reflection and making peace with whatever your demons may be or whatever pulls at you. And if you've found some kind of internal peace, then you can easily, but more easily in those tough moments, reflect back, no, I've thought about this. I've weighed the options. I've chosen this path. So now that I'm doubting it in the moment, I shouldn't stop doing, I know this is where I want to be or where I want to go. Let's truck through the muck, and you will start climbing out.
Yeah. And I think that's the part that, again, kind of you have to go through it to truly, like, people told me that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I thought entrepreneurship was going to be this like awesome, easy flowing, like I work for myself thing. I make my own hours. I kind of do whatever I want. And then, like, of course, very quickly you realize it's not. And then people are like, hey, you need to do these things inside of your business. You need to take care of X, Y, and Z. And you're like, yeah, I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And then that's really where I think the lack of preparation at times is usually where a lot of the lack of belief comes from, lack of self-doubt. You get a little bit of success and then it doesn't necessarily go that way the next month. And so it's really about managing emotions and having that self-reflection, as you mentioned, of like, I'm not going to let my feelings in the moment dictate how I act or don't act. And what I've told people so much recently is the biggest thing is, I believe, is you're never doing as good as you think you are, and you're never doing as bad as you think you are. And how do you play in that middle ground, right?
Yeah.
Don't get too high, don't get too low. And it's almost like gamifying it for yourself, right? And making sure that you're staying in check and you're doing all that. So what are some things as an entrepreneur that you've like worked on personally, right?
Yeah.
Whether that's like coaching, mentorship, anything that comes to mind where you're like, hey, like, I got to take care of me first and make sure I'm consistently leveling up and I'm good so this machine and this engine can run.
Yeah. The difference between a corporate life, because I did it for 5 years.
Yep.
And I mean, I've always worked for small businesses. Even when I was at the automotive shop,
Yep.
I made it to manager, but even then there's no paid vacation. So anytime you do, you're not making money. So you've got to factor all these in. But even then you're not running the whole business. There's an owner, there's someone else doing things. But when you jump into entrepreneurship, all of a sudden you're wearing a ton of hats and you're having to learn so much new stuff for how to solve this or how do I handle this. I really just want to do what I'm good at. And that's why I started this, is I really enjoy and I'm doing this, but holy cow, now is there emails everywhere. There's the bills, there's insurance, there's all these things that you got to learn, and it can be very exhausting. And it's kind of, you've got to slow down a little bit. And what I've found with help from Liv is you've got to block some time, you've got to separate and really hard focus on things, whether it be learning it or delegating it out, because that's a big thing I feel is, as an entrepreneur, you started the business because you're good at something, and you're usually good at solving problems and doing something unique, but you want to do all of it because that's the kind of person you are. But delegating out certain things and learning that paying some money out to have this helped with or done is going to free up more time to do other things that help you, whether it be make money directly or indirectly. It's very beneficial. And I think that's something we all learn as we get a little older too, the time thing. Well, yeah, if I delegate this out, it gives me more time here, and that's more important. And it is very stressful being an entrepreneur in I feel any business, especially as a content creator full-time. And there's not a lot of full-time content creators in the blue-collar construction space. And it's something that I don't think most people understand or know much about, and you can't really talk to them about it because they're not in it. So it's just, you figure it out as you go type of thing, and you just, I'm a very positive person in general. I just always have been. And so it's just, I'm always think positive thoughts, or just, if I keep doing this, this will happen, or just be that positive aura energy, and people have always seen it or appreciate it, and that draws people in too.
Well, I like what you said. So I spent 5 years in corporate in medical device sales.
Okay.
And so I was traveling, like, basically the least amount of hours I usually typically worked was about 60.
And working for a very busy job.
So I was selling CPAP equipment, the masks, the devices, and then ventilators. And so, like, if I wasn't like early in the morning traveling, I was usually at like a sleep lab at night, to where I had to like work the whole day and then go catch the doctors as they're getting ready to do some of the testing and things like that. I mean, it was just nuts, right? And then I was sitting in a hotel room in Kansas City, Missouri in 2018, and I was like, the money's great. This is the most money I've ever made, but I'm gone all of the time. And then so I ended up finding a course online in 2018 that taught me how to build websites and rank them and do that. And then I built 200 websites before I ever sold one. I was just giving stuff away to people for free, kind of like you were talking about earlier. I'm buying the tools and the equipment. But then from there, I was like, the whole reason I wanted to become an entrepreneur full time was freedom, like the freedom of everything. And then for the first, I'd say 4 years of me being an entrepreneur, because I went full time in 2020, it was everything but freedom. I kind of created a prison for myself. In the last 2 years, since I relaunched my business, it's been, hey, I'm gonna hire people quicker this time. So we've gone from 0 to 45 employees in 20 months, because I was like, there's all these things I can do, but at the end of the day, if I'm a prison to my own company, like that's not what I wanted to do. And so I think entrepreneurs struggle with that too, is like, hey, I have the freedom. And then you realize you actually didn't create freedom. Like you have the ability to, but your business is basically a job.
Yeah, I mean, it's very true. And it's even, I feel, you saying that makes me think, it's like, yeah, I've created Tools by Design where my life is my job.
Yeah.
So I love it, but at the same time, it's, I wouldn't say it's draining, but it's following along. No matter who you are in life, you're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have struggles or things you're trying to solve or things that pull at you. And if your life is your job, you're going to see that in whether it be the content or the projects. And so it's been tough to kind of, I guess, navigate that going through. And people have seen it, and you always have the dedicated followers that really like you or just enjoy your take.
Yes.
And it's been awesome. Part of it is when they see Travis that isn't the Travis they know and really like. They're sending me messages or they're giving me positive boosts. Hey, we're still here. We love the content. Like when you shared this, and the amount of messages I've gotten of how many people I've helped, because so many people will watch or not. It's not necessarily about buying the tool, but it's about sharing an experience or a process or just people get things from so many different ways that help them in life. And to have so many people all the time that message you and say, hey, you really helped me here. Hey, this really changed how I worked, or hey, you doing this helped me complete this project at my house and solve that. It's just lots of positive. And I used to get more negative hate about things of just jealousy. People drinking too much haterade. But now it's mostly when I get messages, it's people just giving me positive things for stuff I shared or saying, have you seen this? And a lot of times it's stuff I've seen, but at the same time, it's stuff I haven't seen. More learning. I love to learn. So it's cool. Been really cool for that aspect that I never saw coming, because I never expected to be an influencer or a person of topic like this. And it just kind of happened. And now it's just taking in what you can.
Yeah, that's so cool. Any last pieces of advice as we're kind of wrapping up the episode that you're like, hey, whether it's something that you just want to hammer home that we've already talked about, or somebody that's listening that's just like, hey, maybe they're just getting started to create content in their business, or just starting in their business in general, or they've been doing it for a while and they just feel a little bit stuck. Anything you'd like to kind of share to say, hey, it's going to be all right, but here's some things you can navigate along the way.
Yeah, I get similar questions quite often from people or small businesses, and that, like, they look up to me so much, and I'm like, man, I don't feel like I know as much as you think I know. But what I do know, and I tell everyone, is like, just be yourself is the most important thing. And if you have an idea for a piece of content, or you think it's going to be ridiculous or too silly or this, do it. Just do it. Whether you post it or it works out, but you've got to take chances. You've got to have fun. Like for me, like if you hear a song on the radio or in your podcast, you're like, oh, that would be awesome to pair up with this, then just remember or write that down and do it when you're tearing out that deck, because you enjoy listening to that song, to that. Like, throw it together. Like, add your personality into it. And I think that's one of the most important things anymore, especially as we're forcibly being pushed into the AI culture and it's taking over things. People want to see and learn with every small business who the people are behind it. They want to get to know you a little more, and in doing that is adding in your little nuances though, whether you think it's going to be popular or not. And the other thing is just consistency. Like, social media takes a lot of time for every small business. Way more time than you think it will. And I hear it constantly at trade shows from small businesses, from just talking to people. And I think just setting up the consistency of try to do a post a day.
Yeah.
But that's a lot. So if that's the case, do 4 posts a week. So don't worry about, to me, the time of when to post and that. Just put it out there. Because if it's decent video anymore, it will get seen. It really doesn't matter. They're pushing it on the first group of people they shove it to. If they watch it a decent amount, then it'll be shown to a bigger group and a bigger. So it really just get it out there, be yourself type of thing. And I feel like that's always been that way, at least for me, and sharing it. And it's a tough world out there to get exposure and views anymore. And it's just keep the positivity, right?
Yeah. Love it. Well, Travis, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
I know you were in town and made this work all the way from Jacksonville. So thank you so much.
It was pretty awesome to just be here visiting family. But then on this, I'm like, oh, this is perfect. We'll just drive across town. And I've never been really west of the Mississippi, so I'm seeing all kinds of new things.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, where can people stay connected with you and then the brand and all that stuff online?
Yeah, Tools by Design, or at Tools by Design. Every platform is just that. But if you have any questions on tools, products, anything, shoot me a message. I respond to every single message on Instagram that comes in. I have since the beginning. It is a lot, but it's something that I've just continually done because that's the best way to help people. And the whole reason why I created a page was just to help people stay informed and make the best decisions. So to me, it's a pressure I put on myself, but also I really enjoy it. So if you need something, you see a video or that, ask questions, I'll answer.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much again for coming in.
It's
I
awesome
really appreciate it. Thank you. This was great.
Fantastic.
And thank you so much for listening or watching to today's episode. Make sure to go follow Travis online, stay in touch with everything that he's doing. It's really, really cool content. And the fact that he answers DMs and all of that stuff is incredibly impressive. So make sure to stay connected with him. Share this content on social media when it comes out. Subscribe to the show if you haven't done so already. And we'll see you next week. Remember, authority isn't built overnight. It's built over time.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode. We sure do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, make sure you're subscribed to the show wherever you consume podcasts. This way you'll get notifications as new episodes become available. If you feel so inclined, please leave us a review. We sure do appreciate it. Until next time, friends.